Good afternoon and welcome back to the West Ham Network. I'm Anton and I hope you are all well, keeping safe on this not so sunny. I don't even know what day today is. The 12th of April. It's Tuesday. I'm off this week and it's Tuesday. I had to take a little memory reminder there. But I hope you're all well. Big week, big, massive week for West Ham. Can't believe we're still, come the 12th of April, we are still in the Europa League hunt. 1-1. I was at the game at the weekend when we scored that goal, that thunderous atmosphere kicked in when Jared Bowen got that goal. The sending off, of course, kind of put a dampener on the game when Creswell got sent off for that soft red card, and it really was a soft red card. But you know what? They're there for the taking. Lyon held and dominated possession, but I didn't think they'd done anything, fancy, anything over the top great. I thought Dawson, we're going to talk about Craig Dawson in this video, but the man, the mountain, Mr. West Ham, he's just stepped up to the plate big style, and what a performance he put in. And those tackles come the end of the game, no nonsense defending, getting stuck right in there. It's amazing to watch a player like him develop in this team at the age he is, like a fine wine. We seem to be finding some of these old school defenders, and you think about, getting better as they grow older. Ogbonna, and it's been a crap time since he's been injured, but it's definitely, it makes for an interesting game. The Europa League is wide open though. You've got, apart from the Braga Rangers game, every other game in the quarterfinals was a 1-1 draw going into the second leg. It's there for the taking. It's there for both teams for the taking. And of course, if you watched Russ's show yesterday, you would have seen that Lyon suffered some injury blows, but it's not the fact that West Ham haven't either, because we, of course, have. And during the West Ham's clash against Brentford at the weekend, our towering centre-back, Zouma, had to be replaced by Issa Diop in the 29th minute after he sustained and knocked his ankle, dealing us a massive blow in our pursuit for the top four finish, but not just for the top four finish, for the Europa League. So we're going to go into that as well, and we'll talk to you about a little bit of an update regarding Kurt Zouma. But before we do that, we're going to come into the chat, see who's kicking about. Hope you're all well. If you're new around here, make sure you do hit thumbs up. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. We're on the march to 20,000 subscribers. I'm not even going to say 12,000 subscribers. I'm going to push the boat out and go for 20,000 subscribers. We're on the march for there. So if you're interested, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. That will then notify you when, of course, we do our shows as well. Luthers is in the house. Hope you are well, keeping safe and well as always. Rick Cogger, good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining us. Adam Wilshire, Zouma. Yes, mate. I'm good. Thank you, guys. I hope you are well. Lovely and sunny in Hornchurch, Anton. Well, it's just overcast here. It's just a bit chilly, but we are expecting a nice warm wave coming in the rest of the week. So hopefully I can enjoy that and get some nice weather kicking about. Crosshammer, you're in the house. Hope you are well and keeping safe as always. Alan Cook, afternoon, Anton, and everyone. And I love to see you all talking to each other. Harley the Slammy. Well, wait till you see what I'm going to talk about. Maybe the long lost brother of Collins, the way he's been playing. Absolutely. No nonsense defender. Absolutely amazing. Things you love to see as well. Heard we have got the Swiss ref that we had in the first Sevilla game. Well, hopefully he is a lot better than the ref we had in the first leg against Lyon, because that was ridiculous display from the referee. Ridiculous, like really, really frustrating to watch when you think about the Bowen yellow card and the amount of times that Lyon players were down on the ground. It was ridiculous. It's really frustrating to watch. It's so frustrating to watch as a fan. Kimball's in the house. Hope you're well. Hope I am. Thank you very much. Man United and Spurs fighting to sign Sam Johnstone, just heard on Sky. But do you know what? I know we've spoken about it. I know West Ham have had a keen eye on Sam Johnstone, but let's not forget we've got Alfonso Areola. And if we are going to bring him in, we've got the option potentially to take him in on a transfer fee, or we could bring him in on loan again. And if we bring him in on loan again, his wages are subsidized. We don't pay a transfer fee, and that adds to the budget for the transfer season as well. So, when it comes to Sam Johnstone and it comes to Alfonso Areola, I was very open to both, if I'm being brutally honest. But what you have got is a player that's currently playing at the club, that knows the system, that knows the fan base, that knows the players, the squad that's in and around them. So it'll be interesting to see what happens come that as we move on. Adam Whistler, quick question. If we had to focus on one, Europa or top six, honestly, mate, I think Moyes is going for all. You've seen that from the Brentford victory. He didn't change up things. He doesn't want to change up things. We've got a small squad anyway. He's going all out to get as much as he possibly can from everything. Because when you are, he wants to finish in that top six in the Premier League. But of course, what an opportunity. What a bloody opportunity to try and get through to the next round of the Europa League. Imagine we did this, got this victory over the line on Thursday. We're into the semi-finals of the Europa League. Like, we're 1 game away, 5 games away, or 4 games. Was it 4 games? 1, 2, 3. 3 games away if we win them all from the final of the Europa League in the middle of bloody April. He's going to go for all of them. I want Areola anyway from Gaza. Good cheers. What's all going on with the money to sign players in the window? Will join me on the Hammers headlines at 5 p.m. where I'll be talking to you about the ups and downs of the money situation. So I will talk about that when we come in there as well. I think we'll get both of them. What are you talking about, Areola and Sam Johnston? I'm not so sure. We do need Sam Johnston, but he's not. We do not need him. Sorry. There we go. Jazza, Anton, what percentage chance do we have of winning the game against Lyon? It's literally, mate, it's down to 50-50. I just think as long as West Ham, if it's the West Ham we know that can turn up, I think we can turn over any team. Doesn't matter if we're in there on their home turf or whatever. I think we're capable on our day of doing the job. It's just, how we set up and what mindset Moyes is going to do. Both teams have to go for it in a sense. So I can't see the reserved performance coming out that maybe you would have saw in the first leg from West Ham. So yeah, we'll see that. We will see that. Someone posted a video of Dawson and Rice having a spat. Dawson pushed Rice's arm away and he walked away. Not sure there was much in it. No, I don't think there will be, Luthers. I really don't think there will be. I think there's just that, it could be a tackle, no nonsense. Dawson's came into the club, living and breathing the club, as is Declan Rice, which is all great to see. But let me get started on today's show, of course. And like I said, the immediate concern we've got is Zouma's injury, and it sparked concerns ahead of our Europa League quarterfinal second leg against Lyon on Thursday night. And Rashane Thomas, who's recently been on our channel from The Athletic, gave an update on his Twitter feed revealing that Kurt Zouma is to be assessed before the Lyon trip after twisting his ankle in the Brentford defeat, as you can see here from the image that I'm going to put up. We've all saw that image and we don't like it. And then in his corresponding article from The Athletic, he shared in Moyes' post-match comments, and he spoke about the situation. He says, Kurt's twisted his ankle and we don't know how bad it is. Hopes that he had little more than a twisted or sprained ankle have been blown apart with the news that his ankle is very badly bruised after he went through a scan earlier yesterday. I mean, Zouma has been absolutely class for West Ham in the defence. Unstoppable at times. His all-round presence has been vital to our push for a European spot, but also vital on our European journey in the Europa League. He brings a sense of calm to our defence, which we so desperately need and have needed for a long time. He also brings the best out in others when the players play with him. Players like Diop and Dawson rise to the occasion. So if we are missing Zouma on Thursday, what are we missing? He ranks high in clearances made in the Premier League, demonstrating the importance he holds in making last-ditch interventions. In addition to the one-to-one blocks he averages per league game, this makes him an essential part of our back line. As a result, Moyes is going to be hoping that Zouma can shake off the injury in time for the quarterfinal clash, having played another blinder for us in the first legs. But it looks like it could be a race against time for Zouma to be fit for his match in the homeland. A chance, means that, does this going to be another thing of smoke and mirrors that Moyes is going to be doing? I don't know. I think Moyes has been very, very mindful and very, very careful about what he says to the media ahead of all these big games. And I've got to just use the Bowen situation as an example for that. He didn't give anything away. Nobody had any inclination that Bowen would start the first game back that he did against Everton, but he did. He came back and he started off and kicked off where he came back from. So, I think it is going to be a lot of smoke and mirrors with regards to what Zouma situation will be. He's got a higher average of clearances per game, 5.7, than any other West Ham player, as well as the second highest average of blocks per game. The centre back is certainly an important figure for us at the back. He's racked up You ready for this? The third highest pass success percentage, 86.5% out of any other player in the West Ham squad. And to have started at least one game in this campaign, showing just how capable the defender is on the ball as well as off it in his defensive talents. He has also been a solid figure of the club this year in the Europa League, earning himself an overall performance rating of over 7 per game, the third highest of any player to have featured in the competition for West Ham. Taking this into account, it's safe to say that Moyes and many of us of fans are sweating over this latest injury blow and whether he'll be available to feature in midweek. Until then, who could fill that role that he would leave? He could lead the line. Who could lead in the line from the back? Some could say he is already there and has already been leading from the back. But what we are led to believe, before I get into Craig Dawson, the man of the moment, I would call him the man of the moment, is that Zouma looks like he's got a bruised ankle. We don't know how serious and how serious this is going to be, if this will have a knock-on effect for him actually starting the game or not. But what we have to be really mindful of is the mind games that Moyes has been playing throughout this season. I've done a press conference show. I try and bring you the press conference when I can, but sometimes I've started now to think, I don't know if I'm going to bring you the press conference because Moyes is playing this big game and you don't have a clue who's going to start the next game. If someone's injured, you don't know if they're going to make it. And Bowen was the prime example of that. So when Moyes does this press conference for the Lyon game over the next couple of days, it'll be interesting to see whether Zouma is on the training park or not. That's the key element here. The pictures is what we're looking for. But he won't want to give too much away. He really won't want to give too much away for the opposition because he doesn't want to give them the heads up that anyone will or will not be available for the game. But who can step into the role? Who can take and lead from the line? When I think back to the signing of Craig Dawson, he was emulating West Ham's recruitment hallmark. It was everything that stamped the West Ham signings of the past. Flirt with expensive overseas targets, the entire window before panicking and securing a last-minute loan deal, typically a so-called has-been. The likes of Duj Kaleta-Carr, Jonathan Tah, Milenkovic, and a whole host of other players and defenders were said to be in West Ham's eyesight over the summer, and reports had West Ham fans giddy. We were giddy at the prospects of securing a big name centre-back. But in typical glass half empty fashion, who did we go and sign? Craig Dawson from on loan, not just actually outright, on loan from the Championship. The signing, although somewhat pragmatic on paper, was not the marquee acquisition fans were pining for. But the Watford, at the time, loanee has since silenced his critics and proven many, many people wrong, including myself wrong. David Moyes seemingly cares little for price tags. This is the key part here. He cares little for the price tags of players and focuses more on what a player can actually bring to his squad. Fans were sceptical as Dawson was given the nod over Issa Diop to partner Ogbonna for his debut game, but the duo worked really well in tandem to keep quiet Southampton strikers Danny Ings and Cole. And really, since that game, he has gone from strength to strength. Dawson was outstanding against Lyon. I mean, outstanding. I can't even, say it anymore. And let's be real for a minute. If he cost us 40 million quid and gave us a performance like that, everyone and their gran would be talking about him. The 31-year-old has been superb throughout the campaign, managing 42 appearances in all competitions this season. He made 3 tackles, blocked 2 efforts, and made as many as 6 clearances during the game against Lyon. He also attempted 13 long balls and played out 1 key pass to complete a solid performance against Lyon. And add to that Dawson has been playing despite sustaining an injury in recent weeks. He's put West Ham before himself and is playing on while dealing with this injury issue. He's been a solid performer since we've called upon him most of the time at the club, and he had an exceptional second half to the last season, guiding West Ham, you could say, to a 6th place finish in the Premier League. And, most of us West Ham fans have been used to flirting with European football only to stumble at the first hurdle, usually the qualifying rounds, Astragugu, if you all remember Astragugu. But as we enter the final few weeks of the Premier League season, Moyes has West Ham challenging for another European spot and a quarter-final second leg tie in the middle of April. The inclusion of Dawson has almost felt like a bit of a throwback in East London to a time when old-school centre-backs dominated the Upton Park ground. Notably, club legend James Colin Ginge, a no-nonsense defender who endeared himself to West Ham faithful with his heart on his sleeve, gritted teeth performances. That no-nonsense approach, though, has been apparent in Dawson's game in an era when the ball-playing centre-back has become the main thing. Dawson is proving a recent gold standard for the throwback number 5, hoofing it into row Z when under pressure and crunching into tackles despite the gaze of VAR. VAR looking over him and he's like, no nonsense, I don't care, I'll get that ball. If I take the player, I will take the player. And for now, he continues to shine, but he can continue to add grit and resilience to the Moyes' back line, perhaps one day uttered in the same breath as West Ham beloved Ginger Pelly. Craig Dawson is undroppable at the moment. It's as simple as that. He's flying under the radar as a potential, are you ready for this, Hammer of the Year candidate. In fact, we believe, or I believe, alongside Declan Rice, Dawson has been one of West Ham's best and most consistent players this season. He's been doubted by so many fans for making some errors in some games. I'm not bigging him up. I'm not taking him to the next level. He has given us performances that is showing that he fights for every single moment when he wears that badge on his chest. What an absolute steal of a signing he has proven to be. 3 million or 4 million if you include the initial loan fee. Has to go down as one of the very best value for money deals of the last decade for West Ham. Ogbonna is on his way back. We're hearing, starting to do a bit of grass running. He's on 70k a week. We're expecting him to get a new contract for West Ham when he comes back from his injury. And a huge fight will be on Dawson's hands when Ogbonna does come back from injury. And that's actually a good thing for all of the players at West Ham. And as a club, it's really interesting to see, though, whether Oggy will make do with a place on the bench and when he does actually return to full fitness. But we have to give plaudits, absolute huge plaudits, to Mr. Craig Dawson, because he has turned up. He has done a job for West Ham when he's been asked to do that job for West Ham. I can't stress it enough. I can't imagine the amount of times that he's been, like slagged off in the mainstream media, slagged off between West Ham fans. But you either love him or you hate him. He's a little bit like Marmite, but he has been bloody brilliant for West Ham. And that, that Lyon performance at home, it's just everything he emulates as a West Ham player. Things we love to see. Absolutely love to see Mr. Craig Dawson coming in here. But like I said, going back to the Zouma situation, we're led to believe it's going to be touch and go. He's going for another scan today. He is going for another scan today. So we're expected to hear something on the back of it. But let me just reiterate the situation with Jared Bowen. Whatever we heard, he started the game against Everton and no one anticipated that he would be. No one anticipated he would be. So let me jump into the chat, see what everyone's saying about this as well. And we'll go through there as we do. Ludders really don't think they want a newbie winning the Europa League like us, but we will see. I wouldn't be surprised. It's ridiculous when you see some of these refereeing decisions as well. And it does happen to teams like West Ham in the lower division because they don't want newbies to come through and do that. They would never admit that, of course. They would never do. I know we can and will score as long as we don't make individual mistakes defensively like we did versus Brentford. I think we will be okay. Fingers crossed. Adam Cook, only thing is we lost against Brentford and he could have rested players and played some of the youngsters, giving them a chance. And the only thing going for us, though, is the fact that, I don't know, it was a bad day at the office against Brentford. It really was a bad day at the office. And I don't know what the thinking was and the mindset of the team was. And, we were just knocked off our rhythm. The injury to Zouma didn't really help the situation, but players just weren't firing all cylinders. And Antonio had one of his worst games in a West Ham shirt. But coincidentally, that's really odd considering he had a very good game against Lyon. So let's hope that he can bounce back and do something in the second leg, because I do think he can cause problems for Lyon as well. Adam is saying, I hope so. Just worried we're looking tired already. That game against Brentford has lowered my confidence, but hopefully I'm wrong. Come on, you Irons. But the thing is, though, Adam, we've had performances, not great performances this season. We have bounced back, but we have to, Moyes has worked with a small, thin squad, and look where we're at. I've said it in the during when I've done the show. We're sitting and challenging for a top 6 place, and we're in the middle of April trying to get through to the semi-finals of Europa League. Ridiculous times. Paul is saying, just go for it. Nothing to lose anymore. Absolutely. Gaza, I can't work out why he didn't ease Okaflex in during the middle of the season. I don't know either, to be honest, because join me on the Hammers headlines at 5 p.m. where I do talk about Okaflex and the under 23s. And I don't know what the situation is there, but I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a little bit more of him come the summer. But that does depend on the recruits that we do bring in as well, because he'll be looking at the highest standard he can possibly bring in that can fit within our system, and that might have a knock-on effect to letting Okaflex come through the ranks. Ludder says, surely if it's bruised, they can strap it up and give him an injection. But I think the thing is, I don't know if it's going back to the scan situation that you had with Jared Bowen. Do you know? Do you not know? Creswell, do you know what the injury is? Do you not know what the injury is? But I don't doubt for a second, Ludder's here, there's smoke and mirrors getting played from David Moyes. So if we don't expect Zouma to play and then he plays, what information can we really take to be true? We know Moyes is keeping a tight knit, shutting his mouth. Nobody is getting told anything. He doesn't want the opposition to know anything, and that is what he's doing. Vinay said it's Lanzini's turn to drive the team bus. Not a good idea. Let Noble do it or Yarmo, but not Masuaku. Jay Woods really have lost trust in Diop, need to sell him. Well, do you know what? I mean, apparently Lyon are one of the teams that are looking at him as well. But if Zouma doesn't make it, I do have the confidence in Diop and Dawson stepping up to the equation. If you go back to the earlier rounds of the Europa League, they were the starting partnership of the Europa League. Now, I know people will say, I know that, and I know Zouma is at the quality he is, but I think these players can step up to the equation. And I think Dawson has really cemented himself in that centre-half position at West Ham. So he's going to have to lead the line from the back, and he's going to have to talk and control Issa Diop through that whole game if he does play. And therefore, because it's Dawson beside him, I've got a bit more confidence there as well. And I could see something like this happening. Diop out and Tarkowski in. I could. He's going to be a free. And we do that as well. What happened to you? Don't run. You don't play. Antonio was shocking and does not score goals. Michael, he was. And if you think about the end of the game, just before he came off, I mean, I think did he not volley the Brentford player or push him down or something like that? And it just, typified exactly how his performance was. It wasn't a great performance. But then the crazy thing is, look at his performance against Lyon in the first leg. It was a good performance. He didn't really put a foot wrong. Yes, he didn't score, but he did everything we needed him to do in that game. And I don't doubt for a second he will be playing for that as well. So Jazz is saying a score prediction of 1-0. We all know it will be Fredericks, Dawson, Diop and Masuaku. Shame that Winker didn't get injured at the weekend. Russ, good transplant, but will I change your voice and name? Was that there? Are we going to see play acting again from Lyon, or will they go for it? Ridiculous play acting from Lyon. It just, it typifies everything that European football that we know as watching the Premier League. And when we see it in the Premier League, it doesn't go unnoticed. And it's ridiculous, the playmaking and the play acting, absolutely ridiculous. Paul Parkinson says Diop just needs time. Not that bad. Tarkowski not coming to West Ham, not interested. It's funny you say that though. As many times as we've dissected a player and said, I don't think they'll fit the system, I do think they'll fit the system. He is a Premier League kind of defender, hardcore defender, different to Dawson, but he reads the lines really well. He's been part of a Burnley side over the several years that are tough to score against. Maybe not so much this season, but essentially he has been, and he is going to be free. And I could see that happening as well. Moyes has a good poker face in the press conferences. He absolutely does. Adam is saying, please, Moyes, don't play Masuaku on Thursday. Gaza says, especially at left back. I think if you're going to see anyone come in at left back, it will be Ben Johnson. I certainly don't think you will see Masuaku at left back. I'll be really shocked if that is the position. We will be doing a preview tomorrow night, so make sure you do join us for that preview as well. Paul is saying Masuaku is king. Remember the Chelsea game. Big Dawson break his nose against Lyon. I think he's had a bash against Lyon. He had a bash against Brentford, but he's no nonsense. He's the new centre half, the no nonsense centre half that West Ham have got. Gaza, I wonder if Oggy will be okay when he gets back. I think he will be. I think West Ham will manage his injury too well. I don't doubt for a second that Oggy knows that he's coming to the end of his career, especially with such a really bad injury that it was that he suffered. But West Ham won't rush him back if not needed, because right now we're not relying on Oggy. It'll be good when he does come back, but he certainly won't come back and start a game immediately. And hopefully the news about Zouma is going to be positive rather than negative. Diop does have good games here and there. Remember at the beginning of the season, Diop and Dawson were first choice in Europa League and played well. I think against Lyon they can do it. I do as well, Adam. I've got the faith in that situation. Vinay says, that's all very well, Anton, but if Lanzini drives a team bus, it won't end well. Well, you never know. You never know. Who remembers that pub team, Ashton, who knocked us out? Absolutely. Peter Bowen, Hammer of the Year. Sorry, I did say earlier on, I think you've got Bowen. I mentioned Rice and Dawson. Of course, Bowen's going to be up there as well. But the point of the matter is you can't remotely take Dawson away from that equation, in my opinion, because I think he's just really, when he's been asked to step up, he has absolutely stepped up for West Ham. It's hard to imagine anyone of Oggie's age making a full recovery. It took Lanzini 2 years. Oggie hasn't got 2 years to spare. Would love Dawson to win Hammer of the Year, but we know he won't. He won't. It will be. And who do you think it will be? Gaza, yeah, Bowen has been up there as well, but I know what you're saying about Dawson. West Ham kids team, not a pauper team. Adam Wilshire says, just saw Europa League posted a tweet, who's going to the semis? Leon replied with a tweet that said, are you really asking like there's a chance we won't go through? We really need to beat them. I seen that tweet. I think it was obviously one of those jesting, the admin of the Lyon, we're putting something out there. But if anything, that would add fire to the belly of the West Ham players to go, do you know what? Look at the cockiness, look at the confidence. And sometimes, I'll be honest with you, I prefer West Ham being the underdogs going into a game. I do, because I feel like we turn up better and we perform to the next level when we're looking up at a team who are looking down upon us. And that's something that I prefer as well. Thunder and Joy says, if Oggie is fit, he starts. Good to see you, Thunder and Joy. Hope you're well. Zouma is going for a CAT scan. Hope it's all as well. Does not wreck the machine need him on Thursday. I can't believe I read that out and didn't even clock onto it straight away. Gaza says, bad day at the office. We were still in the office. Peter says, Antonio, Hammer of the Year, first half of the season, and came back from international duty with Jamaica and turned to shite. And you are hitting the nail on the head. Don't know what's going on with Antonio, but he has given us lackluster performances one week and then a good performance, but still not scoring a goal the next week. But not long ago to the end of the season, of course. Afternoon, all Oggie could take time to come back from that injury. Dawson has been awesome. No need to rush Oggie if he is back. True. Scott's in the house. Good afternoon. Hope you are well, Scott. Thanks for joining us again. If we had fielded youngsters or a weakened team against Brentford, we still would have lost and been fined by the English Premier League. Plus, the under-23s are fighting on two fronts themselves. They are. Hammers headlines, 5 p.m. I do a big segment on the under-23s, giving you a really solid update on it as well. We need 5 quality subs next season to come on. Moyes is looking at players that will come into that team. Don't take that away from the situation. Moyes won't bring in players to be subs. He brings in players to try and challenge for that first team. And whoever follows into that subs position will have to be there. And then it's down to Moyes managing that squad. But we can manage a squad better if we have more games to play, i.e. Europa League, Champions League. If you can get through to the latter rounds, then you have a squad and keep everyone happy. Think about the Areola situation. Not starting in the Premier League, but how many games has he had this season? He's had 6-ish. Or 5, I think he had in the opening Europa League group stages. Then he played the double of Sevilla, then the one against Lyon. He's played all the league games, the domestic games as well. So he's upwards of teens in his performances. So it's not bad for a goalkeeper that's not had time to play in games. 5 subs, Moyes will have a heart attack. Exactly. 2-1. West Ham come back from Harley. Why do I keep seeing the stupid comments around Antonio? The whole team has been pants in the past few weeks. Forwards can only score from service. We're shit at passing and attack and build up. And we have been as of late recently. I think the thing that's disappointing with Antonio is 1 week I'm seeing a performance over him working hard, going out onto the wings, which is something that Moyes has been getting him to do a lot more. And then he did it against Brentford, but he couldn't really hold on to the ball really well. And the thing I've been noticing, Trini, is I prefer the Antonio where his back's to go and he holds off the defenders and he can turn and he can bring in the midfield into play. But he hasn't been doing that as of late. He done it against Lyon, but he didn't do it against Brentford. I don't doubt for a second, I'm not just blaming Antonio, but I do think there's a kind of up and down, peaks and troughs when it comes to Antonio as well. Sharky's in the house. Good to see you, mate. Thank you for joining us. English Yardie. Anton, to be honest, Moyes scares me. Why not use any of the under-23 players? I'm not understanding his train of thought. Brentford match, we were flat. The look of Dick's face says it all on Sunday. I totally agree with you, English Yardie. I really do. I think games against, so many teams in Europe bring in a lot of the younger players and, sometimes you can get a boost from that. The boost of the players coming into the team can really give West Ham and the fan base everything. And it's not that they're going to take over the rest of the season, but it gives players a much needed rest going into the season. So I don't understand the mindset of that. I'm not slagging him off. I'm not saying I want Moyes to go or anything like that. But if you've got a player like Flex who is smashing the goals in left, right, and centre, why don't you start to bleed him into the team a little bit? I don't see the harm in it. I really don't see the harm in it. So I don't know what his thinking is. Trini saying Tarkowski has pants and would not improve us. He has no pace either. You're all talking to each other. The only way we will have 5 subs is if we go to the subway. Our best passer is Noble, and he's the QT at the end. QT the end. We need to invest in a new left back anyway. Thought Johnson's got another tight hamstring. That's why he didn't play at the weekend. No, I know, but he was on the bench, Sludders, as well. So, you know, if I think there was maybe a decision in that, but we'll have to wait and see. Well said, Trini Hammer. Antonio's a scapegoat alongside Ben Rama. We could lose 10-0, and some fans will say it's Antonio's fault. I do agree with you. However, I'm going to go back to the Ben Rama situation. His final third, don't know what's going on with his final third. Sometimes it's utter class. He oozes class sometimes. And then in some games, he does a lot of the hard work, a lot of the build-up play. He tracks back. He's creative, but he can't get that ball into the box or anywhere near our defenders at the moment. Hope you're well, Sharky. Hope you're well. Please stay safe as well. Trini says it's ridiculous. Our defense is leaking goals and people are blaming Antonio. Does not make sense. Fred is saying, hope you have a fair ref, but doubt if we're playing the whole system. Come on, you irons. Squeaky bum time on Thursday from English Yardie. Hoping we can get it done. Vinny says too late to recruit Tarkowski and Brahms, probably overrated now. Michael F is saying all the pressure was playing at home first leg and now it's a free hit. Want to hear a joke? Man United. God, I know. Ludders, we have not scored 3 goals in a Premier League game since the 1st of January. Yeah, and I think hopefully it can come soon. There's little Freddie behind me. You all right, little man? Yeah. What do you say?
Come on, Westham.
There you go. Harley the Slammy, Brendan Rama looked bright against Lyon before his sub. Would you start on Thursday? I think he might start. I really do think he might start on Thursday as well. Okaflex and Perkins are already better than Antonio. Letty is Premier League ready. Langelo and Ashby are close. Gaza, yeah, but Anton, why did he bring in Kroll then? God knows why he brought in Kroll. Maybe just for strength and depth, but he's never used them at all. Moyes' thinking is flawed. No other manager looked for carbon copies of the current squad. You should be looking for alternatives if you are a good manager. Well, then the question to you, Trini, is, and to everyone in the chat, where's your head at with Moyes? I mean, I don't know. Are you happy? You don't seem happy with him. I'm just asking, give me your thoughts. Let us know as well. Craig Dawson, 3+ tackles at 7.50 on Sky Bets. Good bet. Would rather call play 9. Antonio. They should pin the tweet up. The dressing room job half done. Absolutely. That's the team at the moment. Peaks and troughs, not just Antonio. Absolutely. Perkins is not ready from Jay Hammer. How many goals has Antonio scored since October? Okaflex has more than 15 minutes on the pitch. We may as well have had 3 keepers on the bench instead of Kroll. Doesn't make sense. English Yardie, I saw the Lyon match on Sunday. They're a beatable team. Attacking-wise, we have enough to cause problems. Defensively, if Diop has to play, it's concerning. He plays very, very nervy to me. Bonnie says, how many chances does Antonio get to miss? Not many, so the fault in the service. We should have gotten a left back at the start of the season. Defensively, Creswell has been weak for years. Absolutely. God, you're talking about this has turned into an Antonio moment. 100% Fred. Hopefully Thursday, and we'll fire this lot up with 11 men and a fair ref. I'm thinking we're going to get 2-1 on Thursday. I would take penalties if offered now. I don't think I don't think my body could handle penalties at all. Ben Rama does not pass a free hit, goal and leather. Then don't want pens, as that would mean extra time, as we really don't need that with the team being knackered already. Skizzlebase, good to see you, mate. Hope you are well. The biggest things we have learned from Europe is that we can compete and we have a lack of squad depth. Michael says Moyes is a good coach, but should not be involved in transfers, and a shout out for a director of football coming in. And Trini says, I'll be honest, for all that Moyes has done for us right now, I feel like he's holding us back. He has no good reason why he is not to rotate, did not buy players or use the youngsters. There you go. That brings an end to our West Ham Daily for today. 35 minutes in. I need to head because I'm actually taking myself, I'm a little man, for a haircut as well. Join me at 5 o'clock for the Hammers headlines. I'll be talking a lot of things that's been going on in the media today regarding West Ham. But what we do know is that Zouma is likely to be a doubt for the game against Lyon. He looks like he is going to be a doubt for the game against Lyon. And it's going to potentially rely heavily on Dawson and Diop in the defence. However, taken into consideration. What we know about Moyes, he loves the smoke and mirrors game. He absolutely loves the smoke and mirrors game. So I wouldn't be surprised if Zouma started the game, captained the side, and scored a winning header at the end of the game. And we look back at this video and go, what is going on at West Ham? Because it's all over the shop in terms of smoke and mirrors. Anyway, if you are new around here, and please make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Please make sure you do hit the bell notification. Join us at 5 p.m. for another rendition of Hammer's Headlines. And then at 9 p.m. tonight, we have a Bobby Moore appreciation night. Bobby Moore would have been 81 today. He would have been 81 today, gone but never forgotten. Appreciation night with Russ, Martin, and Nigel. So make sure you do join us at 9 o'clock there. We've got loads of content coming your way. But as it stands, keep supporting the channel, keep supporting West Ham, and come on, you Irons. Stay safe. Peace.
It's like a family tree, part of you and part of me. And if we should separate,